Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. I'm your host, Shravan. We've got Taran here with us.
Hey everyone.
And we're still in lockdown. I feel like we say that every episode now. Yeah, but we're still in lockdown. Luckily this week there were a couple of things we could watch, and we'll be talking about those this week. And we will say we're probably not going to be able to watch Shang-Chi on time, the way it's going.
Yeah, probably not. But officially, maybe. Because the lockdown's officially meant to end on the date Shang-Chi comes out.
Oh, okay. So we'll see.
Which is the reason they planned it, because it's such an event.
Yeah.
So they made sure the lockdown's finishing on that date.
That's right. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The government's in on it.
It doesn't matter what the cases are. It's opening.
No, yeah.
Just for that one night, at least.
Exactly, yeah. But who knows? And there's no Disney Plus
release
thing for it.
I heard they were doing a 45-day release for Shang-Chi, so it's going to Disney Plus after 45 days.
I'm hoping I can see it before 45 days, though.
Well, there's no point I don't think there'll be any point in us talking about it after 45 days, because everyone would have watched it by then.
So you might not get a review of Shang-Chi from it. Oh, we might talk about it, but not a full review.
Have we ever not reviewed an MCU movie since I don't think we've never missed one. So I guess we might just do it anyway, even if it's late, but yeah, hopefully it's not that late. But this week it's probably a bit less exciting, the movies we've watched, but nonetheless we've watched them.
I'm physically tired from watching these movies. I'm ready to go to bed.
So the two movies we watched this week are Hugh Jackman's Reminiscence, which actually released, it was meant to be releasing theatrically as well, or it did release theatrically as well, but obviously we can't watch it. But it also released on HBO Max, so we managed to watch that. And the other movie we watch is Jason Mamoa's Netflix movie Sweet Girl, which also came out on Friday. Which one do you want to talk about first? Sweet Girl? I watched that first.
Probably Sweet Girl, because I watched that one first and then the other one after. Yeah.
All right, so Sweet Girl, it's directed by Brian Andrew Mendoza. I didn't look up what he's done, actually. Let me do that right now. That's usually what I do as part of my background, but I was like, I don't need to look up this guy, but I'll look up what he's done. Who was that guy that keeps making movies with The Rock? Looks like this is the director that does that with
Brad
Jason
Payton.
Mamoa.
He's the Rock guy. Yeah.
So he's known for 3 movies: Frontier, Road to Paloma, and Braven. All of them have Jason Mamoa in them.
Okay, I have a Frontier. I think I've heard of that
Frontier
one.
came out in 2018, and Braven came out in 2018 as well.
They sound like Apple TV Plus movies, but I'm not sure.
Potentially, yeah. Actually, he was only a producer on those ones. So this must be the first movie he's directing. Yeah, as a director, he made a movie called Via Monterrey. It was a short movie back in 2009. So this is his first actual movie that he's directing. But it looks like he liked collaborating with Jason Mamoa. Apart from that, it's produced by him as well, and Jason Mamoa, and Brad Payton. Coincidentally.
Oh, he's made a return.
Yeah, so those 3 are the producers, and it's starring Jason Mamoa, as I said, and Isabella Merced, who I saw in
Dora the Explorer.
Yes. Well, actually, I haven't seen that movie, but yeah, she was Dora the Explorer.
She is in that.
I was going to say, what's that movie with Mark Wahlberg and
Modern Family.
Instant Family.
No, it's Modern Family with
the show, yeah.
the long-running TV series.
Yeah, the sitcom. Okay, yeah. But anyway, it's about those. It's those 2 are the main characters. There's a couple other people in it, but it doesn't really matter. It's got the guy from National Treasure.
Yeah. Yep, the tech guy in National Treasure.
The tech guy, yeah.
He's also in the Hangover movies.
It's a direct-to-Netflix release. I think it was always meant to be a direct-to-Netflix release. I was looking up whether it was meant to be theatrical, and they just dumped it on Netflix, but no, I think it was always a Netflix movie. And it's 110 minutes. Sometimes it feels longer than that. And that's it, really, in terms of background. So we can jump into our thoughts on it. I can go first. I'll start with a couple of positives. I thought the performances were good, at least. I thought Jason Mamoa, he gave a good performance. You know what this movie reminded me of? It reminded me of Skyscraper, because that was like it was like a serious and sort of sad movie, but it didn't have to be. Like, it could have been a bit more fun.
I thought Skyscraper was fun, if I remember. Wasn't there jokes in Skyscraper?
Was there? I don't know. Well, not from The Rock.
I can't remember.
Not from The Rock. I think The Rock was like pretty serious in that one.
Straight arrow. Yeah, okay. I have to disagree with you. I think the performance is shit in this movie, but anyway.
Well, no, I thought Jason Momoa was all right, and Isabella Merced was all right. The rest were not good. So it's not everyone.
There was a scene where Jason Mamoa cries in this movie, and I thought it was hilarious. It's meant to be serious. I thought it was unintentional comedy. I think Isabella Merced was all right. But yeah, the performances aren't good overall, in my opinion. They're working with some shitty dialogue as well.
I think it was that as well. Some of the action, I guess, was okay. It's forgettable, but I guess it was sort of all right.
Oh, I thought the action was a bit boring. It's lots of like shaky cam kind of stuff.
The story is, I'm trying to look for positives, but there aren't many. The story is...
Story's pretty generic.
It's quite generic. Yeah, it could have been even more generic, but they did like a slight twist.
Did a twist late. Yeah.
Towards the end, they did a slight twist, which sort of made it a little bit better than what it was heading towards, but still not that good. And doesn't it just feel like a movie that's meant to be on Netflix? Like it just feels like...
Yeah, it does. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, not even like on Netflix. It feels like it's a movie that should be on ABC at like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. Except it's got
Jason Mamoa in it for some reason.
But that's it. Yeah. Everything else about it is generic. It doesn't even look good. Like it feels pretty low. I don't know what the budget was. They don't have it because it's a Netflix movie, but it feels pretty low budget.
Minimal sets. There's not that much extravagant stuff in it. There's maybe one extravagant scene. Yeah, just feels like a movie that should be on Netflix, but like sometimes Netflix puts out good stuff, but this is not it.
What's a good movie that they've, like a good Netflix original movie?
People tell me that Chris Hemsworth one's good. I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah. I heard that one's all right. And even Army of the Dead was all right.
See, those movies could have come out I don't know about Extraction. Army of the Dead could have come out of the theaters and I would have been like, yeah, this is fair enough. But if this came out of the theaters, I'll be like, no. Yeah.
Yeah, this is... Yeah. Remember that phase when Nicolas Cage was doing like anything?
Like VOD movies, straight to DVD.
It feels like that.
I couldn't you said it was 110 minutes?
Yeah.
I couldn't sit through it in one sitting. I had to watch it in 2 sittings. I got seriously bored at one point. I just had to stop and do something else.
There's just not that much that happens. Like there's all these time jumps, which I guess sort of makes sense.
The start of the movie,
but...
in like the first 5 minutes, there's like 10 time jumps, and you're like, why?
Yeah. I will say, like the twist was decent. It could have been executed better.
The thing is, everything leading up to the twist is so boring that I'm pretty sure most people won't make it to the twist. I only forced myself to watch it. Like, I had to force myself to make it to the twist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 90% of the people that watch this won't make it to the twist.
Yeah, especially because it's on Netflix. Like, you can just switch off. Like,
and stop it at any point.
Yeah, there's no obligation to keep watching.
I want to know the metrics of who makes it to the twist.
So, yeah, I don't have much to say, really. It's pretty forgettable. It's just pure, like a VOD, not even Netflix, like you said, it's like a very generic mid-afternoon, straight-to-TV sort of movie with Jason Mamoa. All right. Anything else? I don't have much to say. It's obviously a cocktail.
It's not even what it's. You might think it's like so bad that it's good, but it's not. It's just boring.
I was hoping that it would be. Yeah. I wasn't expecting this to be good either way, but I was hoping it would be fun at least. But it just takes itself too seriously. It's way too serious.
Way too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it on any front. Like, don't watch it with your friends. Don't watch it by yourself. Don't watch it if you don't have anything else to watch. Just don't watch it.
Yeah.
Just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at least with Skyscraper, it had some good action and like there was a bit of excitement there and the premise was pretty crazy at least and it was big budget. So that sort of got away with it. But they didn't use Jason Momoa at all in this. He's very stoic. It's I thought they would use his charisma a bit more.
Yeah, very straight down the line. He doesn't have much to do with this movie, really. So,
a couple of action sequences, but they're not great. All right. Well, yeah, cognitive regression, straight up. I don't think we need to do spoilers.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we could do
a little bit of spoilers.
If anyone cares about spoilers,
we can talk about the twist.
Yeah, if anyone cares about spoilers, just we're telling you not to watch it. But anyway, this is the best part of the movie. So the twist is basically Jason Momoa dies very early in the movie. He dies 20 minutes into the movie, but you see Jason Momoa throughout the movie, but it's actually his daughter doing all the stuff that Jason Momoa is doing. And yeah, you find out that she's the one, which is slightly unbelievable, to be honest, because she's like this very small person. I just can't see her taking down all these people.
Yeah. But to be honest, there were some fights in the movie where I'm like, Jason Momoa should be wiping the floor with this bloke. Like, this guy is tiny. Why is this a fight? So I'm guessing that kind of makes a bit more sense.
Yeah. It's funny when you see her next to Jason Mamoa and she's like this little elf next to him.
Yeah.
He's like massive.
He's like a mountain of a man. And everyone else in this movie is tiny.
So yeah, the twist was fine, I guess. I think you're meant to get emotionally connected, but I don't really care. I didn't really care that much at all.
No, I did not. At that point, I'd seriously given up. And I saw that I was kind of half paying attention to this movie, to be honest. And I saw the twist, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I stopped paying attention again.
It would have been in a better movie. That would have been a really good twist. Like, if they actually built up to it properly.
Everything that happens after the twist, I have no idea. I have no idea what happens. All I know is she kills some guy.
She was already going rogue, but she goes even more rogue. So they capture her. Like, at the start of the movie where he jumps off a stadium or something into the water. So she actually does that. And then they find her.
No, I saw that part, yeah.
Yeah, and then they find her and they, take her away. And then she goes rogue in the ambulance and she escapes. And then she gets to the bottom of... It's that senator lady was behind the whole thing. So, at the very beginning where they have the CNN interviews.
Yeah, no, I saw that as well.
Yeah, so it was just that lady. And then that's it. Like, she records her confessing. She sends that to the FBI, and then she just gets on a plane at the end of the movie and flies away somewhere. That's it.
Yeah, great ending. Also, the movie, it starts with just this random family, and then, when I was watching the movie, it was Jason Momoa doing it, but it's the kid. But either way, it doesn't make sense. It just escalates to, oh yeah, I'm going to find out what's happening to, yeah, I'm killing all these people without remorse. She just goes person after person and kills in this movie, she kills 7 people.
Yeah. There's a part where, well, it's Jason Momoa in the scene, but it's actually her. You find out later, but she's talking to the hitman. And he's like, oh, I never wanted to kill anyone. But he's killed. He actually wanted to kill that guy. He's literally
killed yeah, you did have to kill these. He literally
says it. He's like, I'm going to come after you and I'm going to kill you with my bare hands. He literally says it on live television. So he wanted to kill at least one person, I would say.
At least one, yeah. And look, there was definitely preventable deaths and you went the easy way and you killed them in this movie. So, yeah.
But yeah, that's that. Pretty forgettable movie.
That's sweet, girl. Yeah, I will never watch it again. Isabel Merced is a decent actor, but I think her career is going to go down the drain. She keeps doing B movies. I don't think we're going to see her in much.
This is a B movie. Jason Momoa shouldn't be in this movie, and she shouldn't be in it either. But for some reason, they're in it. She was in some good movies before.
Hopefully she could do better stuff than this.
I liked Instant Family, and she was in one of the Transformers.
Apparently,
movies.
the Dora movie's good. Yeah, she's in some other Netflix movie which I saw terrible.
Was
better
Christmas
than this?
one,
surprisingly, right? Yeah. Let It Snow. It's better than this, but it's still bad.
Yeah. Well, at least those Netflix Christmas movies, you know what you're getting with those. They're not going to be good, but at least they'll be entertaining. But this is just nothing. It's just not worth it. All right, we can move on to. I don't know if this is even a better movie, but we can move on to Reminiscence.
I think this is a better movie.
I think
this is, yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better. I would say it's better. It's
it's 100% more competently made as well, and better acting. But yeah, look, there's some downsides to it.
Okay, well, bit of background on this. So it's directed by Lisa Joy. She is the wife.
Did you say what it is?
Reminiscence. Yes, we're talking about Reminiscence.
Yeah.
Reminiscence. The Hugh Jackman star of Reminiscence. So it's directed by Lisa Joy, who is the wife of Jonathan Nolan, who is the brother of Christopher Nolan. That was in the trivia, so I'm going to say that straight up. That was the only trivia for this movie that was worth saying.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So she's directed many episodes of Westworld, I think. I think that's what she's famous for.
I think she wrote some of them as well, did she?
Yeah.
Or is that all Jonathan Nolan?
She wrote some of them as well. So this is her first feature film that she's directing. This one is also written by Jonathan Nolan. So it's starring Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Tandy Newton, Cliff Curtis. So it's got a decent cast. 116 minutes in length. That also felt a lot longer for this movie. Budget is $68 million, so it's decent budget. So what's the story for this one? We didn't talk about the story for the other one, but it doesn't matter.
This one, it's in the, I think it's like in the not too distant future. I don't think they say a year, but it's in the not too distant future where the oceans have rised. And yeah, it's like all the coastal cities are like half drenched in water. And yeah, they've developed this weird technology, which is like, it's basically like Minority Report technology, I guess. You can like read people's dreams on their memories.
Memories, yeah. You can go relive your memories, essentially.
Hugh Jackman meets this girl and then she disappears and he tries to find her, essentially, using memories.
So I think this movie tries to be like Inception.
Oh, it tries to be a lot of things, doesn't it? It tries to be Inception a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it tries to be smarter than it probably needed to be, but the concept was interesting. So going into positives and negatives, I thought that the first 20 minutes of this movie was actually pretty interesting. The whole concept of going back in your memories and, reliving your past. And
I think the setting is also interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's hinting at some global warming phenomenon or something, but yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what it's basically hinting at. I thought it was, interesting, like how in this world they're nocturnal because it's too hot during the day and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting, but they just don't do anything with it in the end. It's just they say the stuff and they don't use it.
It's based in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah. And basically the oceans flooded the city and you have to get around on boats and everyone's nocturnal. So it was, the setup was interesting. I'll say that. The setup was good. Other positives, I thought Hugh Jackman, as always, was pretty good. Do you think he's the best looking 52-year-old?
There's probably a lot of good looking 52-year-olds out there.
Who else is 52?
Well, isn't Robert Downey Jr. 52 years old or something? He would be around there.
He looks better than Robert
Will Smith would be around there.
Yeah, Will Smith would be in his 50s. Yeah. I think he looks better than RDJ. I think RDJ's gone off. Have you seen him recently? Yeah, I don't think he cares anymore. So
Will Smith's probably still pretty good looking.
Yeah, he's decent looking. But I like Hugh Jackman. Our very own Hugh Jackman.
Yes. I think everyone's pretty decent in this movie, acting-wise. It's like a Westworld reunion, though. There's a lot of Westworld people in this.
Yeah. Is Cliff Curtis in Westworld?
Who's Cliff Curtis?
he's the bad guy. he's the bad guy in this. But he's in other movies. He was in The Meg. He was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh yeah, this is Dingo's friend. Taika Waititi's friend.
He's in Doctor Sleep.
I don't know. Is he in Westworld? Maybe he's in the later seasons. I stopped watching because it just got too confusing.
Tandy Newton's in it, though.
There's some other Westworld, like some of the random small characters are from Westworld.
Okay, yeah. It's basically the same cast and crew then as Westworld. Any other positives?
I thought overall the setting was good. The premise was kind of good. Acting is good. It's mostly shot pretty well. Like everything is mostly pretty good. The only thing letting it down is the story is kind of boring and there's nothing much to it. And the action is terrible.
Yeah, the action's not great. The story is, I just didn't care. I just frankly didn't care about the story.
I think Sweet Girl probably wore you down a little bit as well once you got to this, because you watched them in a row. So you were probably at your wit's end with not caring. But it's not that interesting of a story. It's kind of got a bit of intrigue, but the reveals at the end aren't that interesting. Like, there's no good payoff, and yeah, it's overall it's pretty, like, there's no twists or anything to keep you going. It's quite boring all throughout. I
think we can talk about it in spoilers, but if this was narrated slightly differently, it's all linear. Like, essentially, there's no real flashbacks or anything. It's pretty linear movie.
Yeah, the only thing they try and do sometimes is they're doing a scene, and then Hugh Jackman wakes up and you realize that he was in the memory. But it happens like 4 or 5 times, and it's just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, it doesn't really, like, the first time it had a bit of impact, but after that you're just like, well, you've already done this like 3 other times. So
yep.
It kind of loses its impact. Yeah, I just didn't get invested in the story that much. So the climax part of this movie kind of goes for longer than it needs to. And I think you're meant to get really emotional about this character, but I just did not care. Like, I was like, when's this going to end?
I thought it was better just because I watched Sweet Girl yesterday. The payoff in this is 100 times better than Sweet Girl, but it's still not good. Yeah.
And I think, it's just trying to be like Nolan-esque. It's trying to be Inception-like. It's trying to be smart. Has there been many Inception kind of rip-offs? Not many people have done it because it's very hard, right?
Yeah, I think there have been probably attempts that no one watches because they're not good.
I guess this is from the same family as Chris Nolan, so maybe there was, slightly higher expectations for this, but it's not on the same, and nowhere near the same level.
No.
Yeah.
I think it thinks it's smarter than it is, but it's quite linear in the end. And because it's not as smart as it thinks, it ends up being quite boring because all the things it thinks it's been doing that are interesting aren't actually that interesting.
What Inception had, it had a complex plot point, or like a mechanism. I don't think the plot's actually that complex in Inception, but it had like a complex background to the plot. And the thing with Inception is it's visually spectacular, which this isn't really. Like, it has parts that are all right.
There's some stuff that's good in terms of, like, seeing the city like half submerged by water, and like all that kind of stuff looks visually really good. But I think the difference between this and Inception is that the action is spectacular and visually spectacular, but the action in this is very mundane and boring, essentially. There's this one scene, it's a shootout scene, and it's 2 people behind 2 pillars, and one of them peeks and shoots the pillar, and then he goes back, and then the other person peeks and shoots the pillar. Goes for like 5 minutes. I'm like, why is this?
And the pillars look like they're made out of like wood, so there's no reason why it should be stopping bullets. It would be going straight through that pillar. Yeah, I agree that the action was not great. I mean, the budget is nowhere near what they had for Inception as well, but yeah, it's I think it was trying to be something great. I think it was probably trying a bit too hard. Either they could have toned it down and kept it pretty simple, but I think they tried to make it a little bit more spectacular, and they kind of failed.
Had the potential to be something pretty great, but ended up being kind of forgettable, I guess. People watch this and say it's okay, and that's what I did. I watched it, I'm like, this is okay, but I'm never going to go back and watch it again.
Maybe it's all these movies that I've been watching over the last 2 weeks that are really wearing me down. Like, anything I watch now, I just don't care. Like, it has to be something quite brilliant now to get me on board.
Yeah, I think when I watched this, I didn't think it was terrible, but I didn't like it that much either. Especially through the middle where it drags quite a bit.
I think I would have struggled to watch this in the cinema. It would have been a real struggle.
And it's a long-ish movie. It's not short.
It's almost 2 hours, but it didn't need to be. So it's not that long, but it feels long.
It feels long, yeah.
So for me, it's another cognitive regression. I just don't think it's worth. If you like Hugh Jackman, I mean, there's better movies with Hugh Jackman. Watch the better movies with Hugh Jackman. Yeah, you don't need to watch this one.
Yeah, I think it's okay, but I'm never going to revisit it again. And it's one of those. Have you seen In Time? In Time before, that Justin Timberlake movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the concept in that movie is really good, but the execution's bad. That's what this reminds me of. The concept's really good, but the movie is just not good.
We can talk some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Reminiscence and you care about spoilers, come back to this point in the episode and you can listen to our spoilers.
Also, what I'll say, the concept of the memory stuff is not that interesting. I found the setting more interesting, to be honest.
The setting? Yeah. I like the concept of the memory, but they didn't really explore it that much. It was just like you jump in this machine and you just go back to a memory. But I thought they would do some sort of twist based on that. Like, we can talk about the linear sort of storytelling in this, but if it was non-linear, the way Christopher Nolan does it in his movies, I think this material might have been all right. It's just that they show you straight away that he's coming in and out of memories. I think they could have done something around maybe he was in a memory for most of the movie, and then you find out afterwards that he has to come out of the memory and do whatever he needs to do. Like there's not enough mystery. But yeah, they didn't really use the memory concept that much at all. Well, they used it, but it's just the same thing over and over again. So it wasn't anything different.
Yeah, like you could easily replace this memory concept with just interrogating a guy and then breaking him, and it would be exactly the same movie essentially. There's nothing with the memory. There's one scene where they use the memory of a dead guy, but other than that, there's nothing with the memories that makes it feel that special.
Obviously, there's like long-term memory and short-term memory. Looks like they would, because they might use it mostly for interrogation, so they're using it mostly short-term stuff, like things that the person can actually remember. But I thought they might explore stuff that is in the very, very distant past that people have basically forgotten. And it's there, but it will take a lot of effort for them to get it out of their memory. I thought they'd do something like that, but they didn't explore that stuff at all.
And the same thing with the city. Like, they say it's nocturnal, and then, like, you have to get around the boats, and, like,
yeah,
like the rich people live across a dam and stuff like that. But, like, it's just all set up, and then they never use any of it, really.
You didn't need to have that. Like, what did that add to the story?
It didn't need to. No, like, not at all. Like, it didn't even need to be in the... I guess it needed to be somewhat in the future for the technology, but it didn't need to have the oceans rising.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't factor into the story at all.
Yeah, it's not like it just feels like unnecessary commentary on climate change. Like, it didn't need to be there.
No. Yeah, it didn't need to be there. Yep.
Yeah, like Rebecca Ferguson's character, she's... Like, I really didn't care about her because there was like mystery around her character. Like, is she good? Is she bad? Throughout the movie, like, Hugh Jackman's sort of finding out stuff about her, and there is a little bit of mystery, but I just thought Hugh Jackman's character was just going crazy. Like, he was just unnecessarily pursuing this matter for no reason. Because I just didn't think it was worth his time. I guess he finds out stuff at the end, but it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah, agreed.
Anything else in terms of spoilers?
Nah, the more I think about it, the more I kind of don't like the movie, though. It's just very basic. I think it could have been elevated if they did some more interesting action, I guess. But I think with a movie like this, that's pretty linear. You need to do something special to keep it interesting, and they kind of didn't do anything like that. I don't mind linear storytelling. It just needs to have something in there to keep it interesting. It doesn't need to be a Christopher Nolan movie either. Why are you trying to make a Christopher Nolan-esque movie just because you're in his family? Why don't you just do something different? And lots of people like Westworld as well, so Lisa Joy must be pretty good at certain things, but I don't know if this is the best idea to start your feature film, do your first feature film.
I think the concept and all that was all right. I just think the execution wasn't that great. I guess that's all we had. It's going to be a short episode. We can talk about what we're going to do next week. Actually, there was one thing. Shang-Chi had its premiere this week, and I was just watching some interviews with the cast and stuff. So they look pretty hyped for it. Obviously, they're always hyped for it. The cast is always hyped for it, but it looks like it's pretty good. The early buzz is pretty positive, but it is for all Marvel movies as well. So we'll see.
I would love to get a way to watch it.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look like we will.
Yeah, I don't think Disney do like press.
I don't think they send out screeners or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Not for Marvel movies, anyway. I don't think they would do it. We just have to stay away from spoilers. That's all.
Yeah, which will be tough.
There's 2 end credit scenes, which I already know.
Oh, okay. You already know that.
Or someone.
Yeah.
It's not really like there's always going to be an end credit scene, but yeah, there's.
Yeah.
There's 2 end credit scenes. Oh yeah. So next week we were going to do like a topic episode anyway next week because we didn't have anything planned next week, even before lockdown. So we'll probably do a topic episode. But as for the week after that, we will have to stick to streaming, whatever's on streaming. So there's Cinderella, I think, which we might have to watch instead of Shang-Chi. And there's also He's All That. Is that next week?
I'm pretty sure He's All That is next week, which we might do next week. Yeah. Which I think will be worse than these 2 movies that we saw, but I'll enjoy a lot more.
Yeah, we could do the double. We could do the She's All That. I haven't seen She's All That. She's All That, He's All That. And the actor from She's All That is in He's All That, right?
Is in He's All That, yeah.
She's the mum?
I think so, yeah. I don't know if it's a sequel or something. It might be a different universe, but we'll find out next week.
And it's also our 100th episode next week, so what an occasion.
Yep, to do He's All That.
No better time to do
the movie to launch. What's her name?
Addison Rae?
The TikTok. Addison Rae, yeah. The movie to launch Addison Rae's film career.
So she's also TikTok.
She's a TikTok, yeah.
Because there's that other girl as well that's got her own Disney show now.
Yeah, she's also a TikToker.
We're on the wrong platform. We should podcasting
should have done TikTok.
We should get on TikTok. Yeah, I guess that's all we had. So we don't recommend these movies, and you might get a few more of this. We'll do better stuff than this.
Not next week, but
not next week, and probably not the week after either. But yeah, we've got some topic episodes as well that we've got planned, which are good things that we'd recommend. So we'll do those in the weeks that we're in lockdown, because September, I think they've shifted a lot of the releases in September now as well. I think Venom was meant to be September, but they've shifted that. So the only big release was Shang-Chi, I'm pretty sure, which we'll miss out on. So thanks for joining us on this episode. Hope you're not in lockdown and hope you're all staying safe. And I guess we'll see you next week for 100th episode. There's a couple of surprises. One surprise in the episode, and it's not the movies we're reviewing, it's something else. So just stay tuned for that.
Yeah. And hopefully, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I totally lost what I was going to say. These movies have destroyed me today.
Yeah. Well, I think these 2 weeks have destroyed me. Because there's video game movies who are soul crushing as well. So it's
yeah, and next week's probably going to be worse. So I think you'll just slowly see us slipping into insanity over lockdown.
Yeah.
And these podcasts will be the proof.
Yeah. There'll be documentation of our insanity over time.
Exactly.
Yeah, people will study these later to study what happens when you slowly go insane. All right, cool. We'll leave you here. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're all staying safe, and we'll see you next week.
See you in the next. Oh, we did say where we could get in contact and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to contact us, Cognitive Recalibration, all platforms, or email us at cognitiverecalibrationpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you want to support the podcast, do give us a review on iTunes. That makes us more discoverable on search engines. See, I've completely lost orientation. Like we've done 99 episodes of this, and we don't know what we're talking about.
We're dying. Send help, guys, please.
Okay, this is when we will leave you. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hi, my name is John Kim, and I'm a licensed therapist and host of the Angry Therapist podcast. I went through my own inner journey many years ago, post-divorce, and have been helping people with theirs ever since. I put self-betterment into a shot glass. I come with you instead of at you, casual over clinical. My episodes are around 10 minutes because who's got the time these days? And they're 3 times a week. So if you want your shot of self-help, check out my Angry Therapist podcast at Apple, Spotify, Acast, or wherever you get your pod on.
Acast
recommends.